started here. So, hello everyone. My name is Becky with Scott Leroy Marketing, and today we are going to be doing our command overview. So, we'll be going through the ins and outs of commands. I will go ahead and let you know that this is a pretty fast-paced class. There's a ton of information to cover and not a ton of time, so I will be moving pretty fast through it. We do have classes that cover pretty much everything in more detail. So today's is more of a general overview of the ins and outs of command where you can find things. But we do have classes that go in through the processes and stuff in command. So just wanted to go ahead and give you a heads up on that. Before we also get started, if you have any questions as we go through, please drop them in the chat as you have your questions. I'll do my best to get them answered in real time. Again, for the sake of timing, though, I may just wind up saving them all for the end unless it's something I can answer in the moment. I want to be able to get through the material, but also give you a good answer to your questions. And the easiest way to do that is probably just to save some time at the end to make sure we can get through those questions and I can give you full answers. So if you do drop a question in the chat and I don't answer right away, I promise you I am not ignoring you. I will absolutely get those answered. Just probably save them for the end unless it's something I can grab in the moment. That said, feel free to drop those questions as you have them so you don't have to try to remember them the whole time, and I'll just go back through the chat afterwards to make sure I get all of those questions answered. If you are watching this back on recording and you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to us via email. Our email is support@scottleroymarketing.com. I'm going to drop that in the chat for everyone here with me live as well. There we go. So again, you can also email us here with me live. You're more than welcome to email us with questions, or if you're running into any snags with anything command related, we're more than happy to help out. Today's class recording will be available on our YouTube channel in about 24 hours. We do aim for end of business day, but sometimes with uploading speeds, it can take a little bit longer than that. I did just drop the link to our YouTube channel in the chat. We are just Scott Leroy Marketing on YouTube. When you are on our YouTube channel, we do always recommend that you look for the most recent videos. Things are always changing, both with command and the services that we offer here at Scott Leroy Marketing. So to make sure you are up to date, we just recommend finding the most recent videos. Easiest way to do that is using this videos tab right here. When you're there, it's going to put the videos in a reverse chronological order. So in other words, it'll put the most recent video up at the very top, and the videos will be older as you scroll down. So you'll be able to find those most recent ones. If you are searching, for example, we'll do today's class as an example here. You'll notice that they do not always pull up in order. Sometimes you'll have one from 2 years ago, or in this case, 3 years ago, up towards the top. And you might have to scroll down a bit to find our most recent one right there. So just keep an eye on those dates as you're looking through and searching for videos. If you are not certain that you've found the most recent video, or if something in the video looks outdated, feel free to just reach out to us via email. Again, that is support@scottleroymarketing.com. We'd be more than happy to help find an updated video for you, or if we're working on producing one, we can also give you step-by-step instructions on how to do that if we don't, for some reason, have the video at that moment. Alrighty, so without further ado, we're going to go ahead and we are going to jump in to command. So if you have never signed into command before, then you're going to go to agent.kw.com. Just drop that in the chat as well. You'll go to agent.kw.com and you'll see a screen similar to this. You're going to sign in with your username and password right here. Important to note, your username is not case sensitive. You can make this all caps. You can make it all lowercase. It does not matter. So the username is not case sensitive. Your password, however, is case sensitive. I also will note that if you are copying and pasting that password from somewhere else, then sometimes it'll add a space before or after the password. You want to make sure you don't have a space in there, just because it will cause some errors when you're trying to sign in. So we just recommend making sure you have your full password and no spaces before or after. Easiest way to check that is just hit this icon right here and it'll make your password visible, and you'll be able to check and make sure you have that in there correctly. Once you have that entered in, you would just click sign in, which we will do in just a second. If you have forgotten your password, you can click this forgot password button right here. It's going to prompt you to enter your username, and then it will send an email to your KW recovery email that you have on file. The recovery email, I'll show you where to find that once you are in your account. But if for some reason you are not getting that verification code to your email and you cannot sign into your account to change the email, you can reach out to your Market Center staff. You can also reach out to us, support@scottleroymarketing.com. Sometimes we'll be able to update that on our end, and otherwise we can put you in contact with your Market Center staff so that they can help update that for you. So if you are not getting that code, feel free to reach out to us via email or reach out to your Market Center staff because they can update that on their end. And then it'll have you enter that code, enter your password, and then it will reset it for you. So we'll go ahead and we'll click sign in here. Now, if you are signing in for the first time or you're signing in on a new device, it's also going to send a code to your verification email. Sometimes it'll also happen if you haven't done a verification in a while, just to make sure, that you're signing in, it's still you. So as security factor there, it's going to send a code to your email. Let me grab that code real quick. There we go. And go ahead and enter that in. And that's going to bring you in to the sign in page. Give it a second to load here. There we go. And once you are signed in, you're going to see this dashboard. Everyone's dashboard can look a little bit different. They are semi-customizable. To customize it, you're just going to click customize in the top right corner. And then it's going to give you this pop-up right here. So you can select the widgets that you want to see. So maybe you don't want to see, we'll go with maybe you don't want to see most active contacts and database health. And then you can drag and drop the widgets around to move them. So if we want to put our tasks up at the top, we can do that. We can add those back in if we decide we want to do that. And we'll just go ahead and click apply here. And you'll see those changes go into effect right here. See a question where is there, if you click customize right here, and then you'll see this screen pop up, you can drag and drop those widgets around. And then on the left-hand side, you can select which widgets you want to show there. So we'll go ahead and apply those, and we'll see them going into effect on our home screen. Now, one thing to point out, this leads never contacted, recently active, birthdays and anniversaries. Those 4 will always remain right here. They cannot be adjusted or moved. So those 4 will stay right there. So we're going to start with working our way across the top, and then we'll work our way down the left-hand side for the last part of our class. So starting at the top, we have command, which is where we currently are, and we will circle back to this multiple times. This is the primary portion of command. We're going to go through some other parts, and then we'll come back here and look at these. So the next thing you'll see is connect in the top banner. Connect is a resource library for you. It has a lot of articles and videos on different topics of command, or real estate in general. So there will be some for command and some for real estate in general. On your learning home, you'll see you have anything that you've started right here. Any bookmarked things will appear down here. Some recommended ones will pop up here. Different articles again, or videos. There'll also be some quick links over here and some discover more options, but I'll show you where we can find more of those as well. Next, we have My Learning right here. And this is where if you have bookmarked any articles or any Connect resources, they'll pop up here in your bookmarks under Continue Learning. If you have started, for example, maybe you've started watching a video in Connect and you didn't finish it, but you also maybe forgot to bookmark it, then it's going to pop up here in this Continue Learning, which is great if you are anything like me and then you also forget what the video was called. You just know you were in the middle of it. So then you'll be able to see those appearing right here. Next, we have Completed Learning, which again is similar. If you haven't bookmarked it, but you've completed the video, you'll see that pop up right here. And next, we have Browse All. Browse All, this is going to have all of the topics. They're broken down into categories. So we have KW University courses. So this will include things like Ignite and ALC things, MREA, Quantum Leap, different classes through here, as well as some self-study courses that you're welcome to take a look at. Leadership Hub, if you are in Market Center Leadership, you'll see this section. If you are not, you will not see this, so we're going to skip over that. And then you'll see different articles and videos on listings, working with buyers, lead generation, command, things like that. I'm going to scroll down. I just want to show you one more thing. This Welcome New Associates section right here. This is where you're going to be able to find your Market Center logos. So we'll go ahead and we'll go into this New Associate Essentials right here. It'll take a second to load. There we go. And then you'll see the KW Red Label store where you can find some KW branded gear, so t-shirts and things like that. Health, vision, and dental benefits, profit share information. And this is what we're looking for right here, this logos and branding section. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up. And it's going to bring us to a page where it'll load. There we go. Where we'll be able to find the KW Identity and Style Guide. So the KW Identity and Style Guide, it'll have some guidelines for promoting yourself within KW. So it'll have those KW guidelines that you'll want to make sure you're staying compliant with. But on top of that, they also have like the color codes and the hex codes for the KW colors. So KW red, and the gray they use, the black, and things like that. So if you're looking for those hex codes for the KW specific red, then you'll be able to find that in that KW Identity and Style Guide. Ownership statement, you'll find some information about that, onboarding guide. And then we have our primary logo collection. So the primary logos are going to be just the Keller Williams logos right here, not specific to your market center. We can see a preview down below as well, so we'll scroll down a bit. But if you click that, it'll download a zip file with all of the primary logos. It'll download a zip file, which will have a bunch of different file types, color variations, and things like that. Market Center logos. So here you can start searching for your market center, either by the name or the number. So if you know your market center number, you can enter that in. And you'll just be able to enter it there and download logos. Again, that is going to download as a zip file, and you'll be able to grab those logos in different color variations and different file types like JPEG, PNG, EPS. There's probably another that I'm forgetting. But you would be able to grab those from there. And then you'll also see the Keller Williams logo variations. These ones are not going to be your market center logos. But you'll be able to see, again, primary logo is just the KW with Keller Williams, KW, the primary logos with the word realty, real estate, and then the informal logos down below as well. So just KW, just Keller Williams, you'll have options for those. And again, those will also all download the same, they'll also all download zip files as well. All right, so now you know where to find your logos. We're going to go back to our Connect Learning Home here. And one last thing to cover while we are in Connect is on the left-hand side, you're going to see this calendar right here. And that is going to have some events. Now, it'll have events from your market center, from your KW region, from all of KW. So you'll be able to filter by those on the right-hand side, as well as the different types of meetings or events right here. But then you'll also see those events populating here. One thing I do want to note about this events calendar, not all market centers utilize the events calendar. Some of them use a different platform for their events calendar. So if you are not seeing anything here on this events calendar, it is not necessarily something to be concerned about. It could just mean that your market center doesn't use this calendar, in which case you would just want to reach out to your market center staff. They can confirm where your market center's event calendar is and help get you access to that. So again, if you're not seeing anything, don't worry about that. Just reach out to your market center staff and they can help you out there. We'll go back to our command home just so we're back in a familiar place. Next thing you're going to see on my screen that you probably will not see on yours is this Command MC button right here. That is for market center staff. So if you are not market center staff, which most of you likely are not, then it is going to not be there. You'll just see Command and Connect. So we're going to skip over that today, again, since most of you probably do not have access to that. However, if you are market center staff and you have any questions about Command MC, again, just feel free to reach out to us via email, support@scottleroymarketing.com. We are more than happy to help out with that as well. Next, you're going to see KWIQ. So that is also known as Quick. This is Command's AI assistant. So it can help answer questions about real estate in general or questions about Command, things like that. So you can ask it specific questions and it can help pull those answers for you. Now, keep in mind, it is AI. AI is not perfect. It definitely can make mistakes. So we just recommend reviewing for accuracy. But it is a great place to get started if you are trying to find something specific pretty quickly. So next, you're going to see this marketplace. So it's this storefront logo that will bring you to the KW marketplace. So when Command was created, it was built by agents for agents. And so in keeping with that, they wanted to provide a bunch of integrations for you, things that you can use to integrate Command with other platforms that you're using so that you have as much in one place as possible and you're not having to go in 20 different places to get the one thing you need. So if you go to technology and integrations, they have a bunch in here, such as Twilio, which we'll find another place for this as well. But Twilio is a texting platform that you can connect to your Command to be able to send out texts through Command. And then you'll also see different ones through here, API Nation connections. If you want to connect any of those platforms to Command, they have a ton of options in there. So if you're looking for integrations, that's a great place to start. They also have some discount codes and things like that that you can take a look at through here. Next, we have our notification bell right here. And this is going to give us our Command notifications, which we can change a little bit. But you'll see through here any of your unread notifications. You can filter by the type of notification. So you can filter by the different applets. Keep in mind, notifications are only going to show the applets that you currently have access to. And that can be dependent on whether you are a solo agent, an agent on a team, or market center staff. So again, you may see some that are, on my screen that you don't see on yours. That is nothing to be concerned about. It's likely just because of whatever permissions you have currently. So you may see something a little bit different, but you'll still be able to find your notifications through here. So you can filter by the notification applet or the different applets you want access to or to filter to. So campaigns, for example, you would see those populating right here, and then we can filter back to all notifications. Now we can go through, we can mark the notifications as read or manage our notification settings. Once you have marked a notification as read, you will have access to it for 90 days in this red tab right here. So you will be able to see any that you've marked as read directly through there. You can also change your settings just by clicking this cogwheel up at the top right corner. And then you'll be able to change your notification settings. Again, it's based off of the different applets you have access to, but you can go in, for example, to our campaigns, since that's universal, and you'll be able to control which notifications you have access to, which notifications you get. Desktop in-app are going to be that notification bell up at the top. Mobile in-app are going to be the notification bell in your Command app, and mobile push notifications. Again, if you download the Command app, you can get those notified to your phone like you would get for any other app notifications that pop up on your screen. So you can go in, change those, and save your settings there. Now, you will notice for some of them, let's see, like our contacts, I believe, yeah. You'll notice that some of them are locked, which means that they are permanently enabled, which means that you will always get those notifications. So if you see the locked by it, that just means it's locked by KW, which is only going to be really for the really important ones, such as your contact import was complete or it failed or things like that, that you'll need to receive notifications for. You'll get those popped up right here. Alrighty, so we'll go back out to our Command home real quick. Next, we have our name right here. If you click on it, you'll see a drop-down menu. Now, if you are on a team, you will see two different profiles and you can toggle between the two. We are just solo agent in this account, so we can't toggle between another account. So then the first thing we'll see after that would be my profile. My profile is going to be an internal profile. So this first screen is going to be the information that your market center would see. It would also be any agents that are using the referrals applet and looking for your information, or looking you up through the referrals applet in command, they would see this information. But for the most part, this is just going to be internal information, and it won't be outward facing on your website or anything like that. But we can go in, we can edit this, we can, change our preferred name, biography, language, anything like that. We can go through and add them, update our headshot. And then our contact information, we can update that here as well. This real estate license field right here. Now that is if for some reason you are not seeing your real estate license here and you are a licensed agent, and you should be seeing that, then you will want to reach out to your market center staff. The same thing goes for if your license is entered in incorrectly, has the wrong expiration date, anything like that. You'd want to reach out to your market center staff, as they are the only ones who can update that on their end. It's locked so that the agents can't edit it on their end. Next, you'll see My KW on the left-hand side. Through here, again, this is more internal information. So your KW email, you can see what your KW email is, and you would be able to click this Manage Your KW Email to go and create your new KW email, create an email alias, or things like that. You'll see your login information where you can edit your username. You can click Reset Password. And this is where you'll have access to that password recovery email right here that we talked about at the very beginning for that code to reset your password. Personal information, you'll see that through here as well. And this KW Communications email is important. You do want to make sure you have access to that email, especially if you are looking to export contacts, things like that. You'll need to make sure you have access to that email. It can be any email, doesn't have to be a KW email, but it certainly can be. Your password recovery email cannot be a KW email. It does have to be a personal email that is unique to you. So it can't be the same email that, if you're on a team, maybe someone else on your team uses. It does have to be the same. It does have to be a unique recovery email to your account. On the left-hand side, you'll also see My Affiliations. Now, you will probably see one that says MLS Listings, I believe is what it says. It's not on mine since we do not have an MLS ID. But you would see that if your MLS ID has been added. You would see MLS Listings. You can click on that and see your markets or your MLS information that's been connected. If you're not seeing that and you need your MLS ID added, again, that's another thing that your market center staff would need to update on their end, is updating that. And then finally, you'll see your market center's name right here. The role, you would probably see agent. Your screen would actually probably look a bit different once you've been added as a licensed agent. It will show you your cap information here. So it'll have a bar graph where you can track how far along you are to reaching your cap, both for company dollar and your royalty, as well as some other information about your affiliation to KW, whichever market center you're at. Alrighty, so we'll go back out to our command home. Load, there we go. Next thing you'll see is Marketplace, which again is the same thing we were looking at up here. Next, you'll see Settings in here. When you click on that, it is going to bring you to your integrations. It'll specifically bring you to connected apps. So Lone Wolf, DocuSign, if you have Dotloop. Up top, it'll just say connected apps. So if you haven't connected any, you wouldn't see all of them in this one. It might be laid out differently. But all of these are connected to this account, so you would see them pop up here. As you scroll down, you'll see digital signatures and transactions. If you're not connected to Lone Wolf or DocuSign, they would appear down here. You would just click Connect Account, sign in with your information. DocuSign, you would have to create that account through command if it hasn't already been created through command for it to be compatible. But that'll be transitioning over to Lone Wolf soon. So you should have access to Lone Wolf as well. But scrolling down, you'll also have options to connect the productivity apps, so your Google Calendar and Gmail. Marketing automation, you would be able to connect your Facebook and Instagram and Twitter or X for post scheduling. Paid ads have been moved, and I'll show you where you can access those. So those ones have been moved, but we would be able to see, let's see, these ones right here that are currently connected, so they're up in our connected apps. But you would see those down here. Email services, you're going to see the command email section right here. Now, it does say temporarily unavailable. KW is working on that. We do not currently have an ETA on when that will be available. However, you can still use your command email through command. You just can't edit those settings the same way anymore. And then down you'll see Twilio, and that is where we can go subscribe to it in the marketplace to connect it for sending texts through command. On the left-hand side, you'll see general settings with our notification settings, which is where we just were. Command settings, you're going to see application settings where we just were again, and then you'll see different settings. So your contacts, you'll see your contact archive, where you can manage your contact leads and your lead sources. Opportunities, if you need to go in and make any setting changes to your opportunities. Same with reporting, campaigns, smart plans, tasks, and then my logs is going to show you your import and export logs. So if you've done an import, you'll see when that was started, when it was completed, how many contacts imported, how many failed, and how many total contacts. If you scroll over, you'll see the original file as well as the error file if any of those contacts did fail, so that you would be able to see why the contact failed to import. And then we also have export logs right here where you can see when you have exported contacts and the type of export as well. You'll see connect settings. However, the marketing profile has actually moved, and I'll show you how to access that once we get back out to the primary section of command. Global settings, you can change your languages and contacts through here. And then command MC settings, where you would be able to adjust command MC settings. But again, if you are not Market Center staff, you probably don't have access to that. And if you do see command MC settings, you won't need access to that. It probably won't allow you to actually make any changes there. So we'll skip over that for now. And then next, we're going to see command training right here. This is going to bring you to Connect, and it's going to bring you to an article or a couple articles about command through there. Next, you'll see this question mark in the top right corner here. And the first thing you'll see is a guided tour of command. If you want that, you can go on and do that. It's KW provided. It'll be a little bit different than what we're doing today. Not necessarily as in-depth, but it will have a guided tour there that you can definitely check out. Keller Williams University is going to bring you to answers.kw.com, where KW has created an article walking you through how to do pretty much anything and everything in command. Chat with support. You can chat directly with KW support live. Live chat right here, so you can click that, fill out the form with what questions you have, and they will get in contact with you directly. And then finally, you will see this post an idea, which will bring you to ideas.kw.com. So if you remember, I said earlier that command was built by agents for agents. And so in keeping with that, they always want to take agent feedback into consideration. So if there is a feature that is not currently available on command, and you want to see it added to command, you can definitely go to ideas.kw.com and you can post your idea. We do recommend searching for that idea to see if someone else has posted it, because then you can vote on the idea, and it will, the more people that vote on an idea, the more traction it will gain. KW does not guarantee that every single idea will be implemented, but they do promise that they will read through every single one and consider them. So it's a great place to have your voice heard on any features that would be helpful for you, because if it's helpful for you, it's probably going to be helpful for at least one other agent out there. So it's a great way to have your voice heard, to have those features added to command. Alrighty, so we'll go back to our command home here. There we go. So worked our way across the top. Now we're going to work our way down the left-hand side. And I do know that I am moving a little fast, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you For the rest of this, so all of these different applets, which we'll kind of cover pretty basically, but we do have classes that walk you through each of them individually and more thoroughly, where we have the full hour to go through the applet individually. So definitely recommend checking those out. We'll kind of go through and talk about a little bit of what you can do here and in each applet. So if you are not familiar with the individual applets, you can click this red square with the white KW, and it will pop this out so that you can see each of the different applets. Next, you'll see contacts right here. So contacts is where you're going to upload your database. Now, I did see a question about importing contacts. If you click import contacts right here, they have a template right here that you can download and add the contact information to it. You can also send us your contact information via email or your database in a CSV or Excel file. Send it to us via email. We can get it reformatted for you. We can get it uploaded and imported for you, so you don't have to worry about that. But if you do want to do it, you can just go download this template and go through and fill it out. Our database overview class, we do walk you through how to do that as well if you wanted to check that out. Question, what was the email address to send the database to? That is support@scottleroymarketing.com. Let me drop that in the chat for you again real quick. Let's give me support@scottleroymarketing.com. When you're in here, again, back to contacts here, you can search by your contact's name, first name, last name, email, address, phone number. You can search through those. You can go down, just scroll through and see all of your contacts. We can filter by our contacts, and this is honestly probably my favorite thing about the contacts applet is that they do have, there's a lot of great things in here, but the filters are next level. They have filters for pretty much anything and everything you would identify a contact to by. So the contact type, whether they're a lead or a contact, by tags you've added to your contacts, a lead source. You can filter by the lead source, by the agent site connection, neighborhoods, recently active. There's a ton of different things to filter by through here. And then as if that, if you need anything else, you can also have advanced filtering where you can add multiple conditions, such as tags include this class demo. We'll just go with, we'll go with this hot leads tag, and we can say tags excludes. Go ahead and say excludes any with hot leads. And then you can apply and it will exclude those tags. So you'll see that it's not popping up here anymore, so that you aren't showing those contacts if you need to exclude any from your search. It's a great option for that as well. We also have smart views right here. Smart view is just a way that you can come back and view the exact same layout and filters of your contacts without having to reset the filters each time. So you can save changes to an existing smart view, or you can create a new smart view. That'll include anything from the columns you have added. So you can go through and add different columns in here. So if we want the birthday, and then we want to drag that up to the top so we can see their birthday right next to the name, that's an option we can save as a smart view change. How many contacts we're showing at a time? It's automatically, I believe, going to do 25. But you can up that to 500 contacts at a time if you have a larger database. And then you can save all of that as your smart view changes, and you'll be able to view that as you come back to your contacts. All right, you can also create individual contacts through here. First name is the only required field, so you can put first and last in this field. When you're importing, it's the same. First name is the only required field, but you can go in and add just the first name in here. You can add relationships if you want to link the contacts, primary email, phone number. We can go fill out all of the contact information. We can add as many tags as we want to our contacts. We can add, there's a bunch of fields up. I'll go ahead and do. So it'll let me show all of these. So then you'll also see additional contact information. You can add more emails and phone numbers, their addresses, social media links, About information, you can add their legal name, description, birthday, home anniversary, add more relationships. And then there's also custom fields. So you can go in and create your own custom fields if there's something that you want to personally add to the contacts. So in this one, we've set the defaults to favorite movie, favorite pie. A lot of agents like to do pie giveaways. And then favorite superhero. So you can go in, you can make those whatever you want your custom fields to be. But it's a great place to keep track of different things that maybe you like to remember about your contact or about your clients. So you can add those in there. If you click these three dots here, you can check for duplicates and then you can export contacts. So if you remember back a few minutes ago, we were talking about the KW Communications email in your settings. You're going to be able to export your contacts. When you export your contacts, it's going to send a link to your KW Communications email. And then from there, you'll be able to click on the link. It'll download the file for you, and you'll have that CSV file there. Alrighty, next thing we have is our tasks applet here on the left-hand side. Tasks are going to be a built-in to-do list, which can be created individually. You can go in and create your own individual tasks. They can be created by smart plans and opportunities. So you can create that and then it will just start assigning tasks to you. It's great for keeping track of where your opportunities are, going through and making sure you're completing all the individual steps. You can set those up through your opportunities individually. But we can go down, you can see all of them, the task name, what it's linked to, whether it's linked to an opportunity or a contact assigned to. It should usually be yourself unless you're on a team, and then you may see it being assigned to other team members. The priority level, the due date, whether it's past due, currently due in the next 7 days, anything like that, and what it was created by. So an opportunities checklist created by yourself through there. And you would just be able to go through and see, there we go, whether it was a smart plan or an opportunity through there. Next, we have our smart plans applet. Smart plans are a set it and forget it type of plan. So you can start your contacts on a smart plan. It can automatically send them emails. If you have Twilio connected, it can automatically send texts. It can start them on a new smart plan. It can create tasks for you. So smart plans are really just a way to start automating your outreach, so reaching out to your contacts. So there's a bunch of smart plans. You can create custom smart plans through here. So you can go in and create them individually, enter the name, and then it'll walk you through creating them. And you can add different steps, but you can see the different smart plans you have through here. So the name of the smart plan, if you click the arrow, you'll be able to see all of the steps. You'll see how many contacts are on that smart plan, as well as if you click the eye icon, you can see the name of the contact on there. When it was created, the duration, the number of touches. Touches are how many times you are actually making contact with your contact. So for example, if you were just adding them to a smart plan, that wouldn't be considered a touch task. However, if you are calling them, emailing them, texting them, those would all be considered touch tasks. You can add people to it. You can add contacts to it directly here. You can edit the smart plan if you need to. It'll bring you into the editor. There are also the option to publish your smart plan. So if you click the three dots next to it, you can make a copy, publish it, or delete the smart plan. If you publish it to the library, all KW agents are going to have access to see it. You would just go over to the library right here. And first you'll see featured smart plans. You'll see the Keller Williams created smart plans. They've created 12 different ones. 2 of them are specific to Breakthrough 120, but you can check out all of those here. Next, you'll see top rated. So those are ones that have received high ratings. And then you'll also see what's new. So if anyone has recently published a smart plan, it's going to automatically pop up right here. And you can scroll through those and look at them. You can also search by the smart plan name author name, description. So if we go author name and search, and then you're going to see any that he's created pop up here. And you can add that smart plan directly to your library. You can view the steps in there. And then you can, again, just add that to your smart plans and then start using it from there. Next, we have our referrals applet. The referrals applet is where you can send and receive referrals to other contacts within KW or other KW agents, should I say. So on your dashboard, you'll see an overview. You'll see pending invites, pending referrals, any that are sent or received, as well as your referral network. My referrals, you'll see your sent and received referrals as well. My network, you would see any agents that are in your network. And then we also have the referrals map. This is where you can find other KW agents on the map. So if you just zoom in on an area, you'll have to zoom in a bit before they start populating. There we go. So you have to zoom in a bit to where they start populating on the right-hand side. The map is automatically going to be set to production. So it's going to filter, it's only going to show you agents that have had production in the past 12 months. And actually each of these map pins is a property that was sold through one of these agents. So if we zoom in, let's see here. There we go. If you hover over it, you'll notice the first agent on the right-hand side. It has a red, like it's highlighted in red. That just means that that agent sold this property here. And then as you hover over them, you'll be able to see. So that's great if you have a contact that maybe is looking for a specific neighborhood. You can zoom in here to that neighborhood and find agents that have sold properties in the past 12 months. That's usually a good indicator that they know what's going on in that area. And then, so that again is just going to show agents with production in the past 12 months. You can change the view right here to market center view. I have to zoom out a bit. There we go. So you'll see the market centers populating, and then you'll see all of the agents in that market center will pop up here. And that is regardless of whether they have production in the past 12 months or not. Next, if you are in my network, you'll see any agents that are in your network, which we don't currently have any since this is a demo account. And then finally, we have referral patterns. Now, referral patterns are a great way of seeing where people are moving from and moving to. It is automatically populating Austin, Texas, but we can change this. For example, we were just looking at Denver, so we can go to Denver. And basically, it's going to show where contacts are moving from and moving to. So if we, usually the top ones, so on the right-hand side, it's sorted by the percent of referrals. Honestly, pretty much anywhere you search, any location, the first couple are going to be local. So, Denver to Denver, Denver to Colorado Springs. These are all within the same state. But after that, then we're going to see the next one we have is Scottsdale, Arizona, Albuquerque, New Mexico, some more Colorado. But you can see the percentages of referrals sent through command through here. So again, these are just referrals sent through command, but coming from Denver, Colorado, and then these might be places where you want to find a referral agent. We can switch that to show received, so you can see where those referrals are coming to, and you'll see that update over on the right-hand side as well. Again, Arizona to Colorado is apparently pretty common, but you'll be able to kind of just play around with that and see the different areas. And then you can find the different places you would want to have a referral partner. Yeah, so that covers the referrals map. Next, we have our opportunities on the left-hand side. It's the icon of the two hands shaking. Opportunities are where you can track your transactions from start to finish. So from the time you meet your contact to getting paperwork signed to going under contract to closing, all of the above you can track through your opportunities. It's also where you will upload your documents for approval for compliance to your market center. So you'll upload those through your opportunities. So you'll see we have these are called pipelines. So your listings pipeline, buyers, and leases. It's really the lifetime of the opportunity. So you'll see each of the different phases within the opportunity. So you'll see cultivate, appointment, active, under contract, and closed. So again, cultivate is going to be basically when you're just starting that relationship with your contact, and you're trying to, get through, you're trying to get to where they're setting an appointment with you. And then once they set an appointment with you, you'll be in the appointment phase. And then the active phase, when you are actively representing them as their buyer's agent or their listing agent when you go under contract on their listing or the property that they're buying. And then when they have closed, you'll see those go through here. So you would just create an opportunity in the top right corner, fill this out, make sure everything is filled out that has a red asterisk. I will note that the market center, team, opportunity type, and the owner, those 4 fields cannot be changed once you have selected that when you create the opportunity. But you would go in and create it through there, and then you can connect it to your DocuSign or Lone Wolf to be able to upload documents for approval. Next, we have our campaigns applet, and this is where we can set up paid ad campaigns. So you can create those to go either Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Google search, or Google display ads. They can all be done through the paid ad campaigns dashboard here. So you would just click quick start, jump in, and get that created. Again, we do have classes walking you through how to do that. Next, we have our emails. You can send email campaigns here. So you can send those out to your database, certain contact lists, and this will allow you to get those sent out. Direct mail campaigns where you can send out postcards to your contacts, or you can actually send out postcards and target a specific area. If you're trying to do something like lead generation or farming a neighborhood, things like that, you can do that through the postcards, through the direct mail campaign applet. And then we also have social post campaigns where you can schedule out posts to your so you can schedule out posts to your social media once you've connected those. And then you can go in and schedule out posts for up to 364 days in advance, so that it can automatically be posted for you without you having to go in and post it individually each day. Next, we have our reports applet where we can see our activity reports. So we can see, let's see, we'll go into here. Now you can see your agent rankings, your sales dashboards, cap management, things like that. You'll be able to see through your reports applet. And then communication reports. I will note that some of these may not be showing on your end. Again, it depends on whether you have access to Command MC or not, or if you're on a team or not. This can also change depending on that. So we'll go ahead and look at the communications report. You'll see emails here, and you can see your emails sent, so you can track those. You can track the delivery and engagement down here, see how many were delivered, opened, clicked, replied to, unsubscribed from, as well as reputation metrics to keep an eye on your reputation to make sure you aren't being marked as spam too much. You can track that through here as well. Next, we have our designs applet, which is fairly similar to it'll be fairly similar to Canva, where we can create designs, we can import designs. So you can create email, social posts, print designs, video designs through here. So if you click on that, we'll go through social real quick so you can see it. It's going to automatically bring you to this dashboard here. Once it loads, there you go. And they do have a bunch of templates in here, both for listings, lead generation, business basics, and then they have holiday ones as well, broken down by month. So you can select that and then grab whichever design you want to use. You can click the pencil right here, and then you can add your own branding to it if you want to, or you can download it. So then you can download it and use it from here if you want to. We're going to go back out to our command. Give it a second here. There we go. Next, we have our listings applet. And this is where you can sync your MLS. So again, your MLS ID does have to be added to the back end of command, which we looked at again under my profile. You would see MLS listings on the left-hand side in there. If not, just ask your market center staff. They can get that added, that MLS ID added for you. And then once it's been added, you will be able to sync your MLS here. And then you would see your listings populating here, so you can kind of keep track of those here. You can also create an internal listing or KW exclusive listing if you need to. You can create those through this listings applet. And then finally, we have our websites applet through here. So first thing we want to look at is these settings on the right-hand side. If we click manage settings, it's going to bring us to our marketing profile. Your marketing profile is going to be your external profile. So it's going to be the public facing profile. It's going to be what shows up on your KW website. It's going to be what pulls into your designs and your campaigns and your emails and things like that. So this is going to be the external information, what everyone else sees. Anything with a red asterisk is a required field. So you'll want to go through and fill that out here. You will see that your market center information is grayed out. This will automatically pull your market center information based off of what your market center has on their profile. So you would be able to choose your market center up here. If you are in a business center or a mega agent office, you can select that from here. You can also, if you're with multiple market centers, you can switch between the market centers here. But you can also add a custom office where you can add that information in here, office name, market center logo, phone number. So if you need any of that information customized, you can add a custom office through there. Next, we have my photo. I'm going to go ahead and, so under my photo, again, only required field is your headshot. Now, if you do not have a headshot, you can usually upload a KW logo. It's generally what we see other agents do. But you can go in and upload your photo here. They do recommend 360 by 360 pixels. We recommend that you stick to that. You can use a website like photo or imageresizer.com, and that'll allow you to resize it completely for free to 360 by 360 pixels. If it is any bigger than that, it can stretch funny, or it can be really pixelated or cut off your head, which defeats the whole purpose of having a headshot. So we just recommend that you stick to that 360 by 360 pixels for the best appearance on your website, your emails, and things like that. Next, under my details, you'll have your name here. So you'll enter that in. License number is not a required field, but it is one that we strongly recommend. So you can add that in there. Generally, if you are sending emails through command, it will have a merge tag for the license number. And if you don't have a license number on your marketing profile, it can fail to send those emails sometimes. So that's why we would recommend including your license number here. Preferences, you can choose what's shown on your website, Keller Home Loans, Keller Covered, neighborhoods. Service areas, you can set those to be the same service areas as your market center, or you can choose your own service areas, and those will show on your profile on kw.com or your KW agent website, both of them. Legal footer and compliance, if you have any links or images or text that need to be added for compliance purposes, you can go in and add those through here. You can add your social media links, referral links. That's going to have your app URL. So that is the KW consumer app that is branded directly to you. So if anyone uses this link, they can, if they open this link on their phone, they will be prompted to, they will be brought to either the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, and they'll be able to download the app directly through there, and it should be branded with your information. Forced registration, if you want to control how many properties people are able to view when they visit your site. So whether that's no properties at all before they're prompted to register or sign in, whether it's 2 properties, 10 properties, or unrestricted, you can go in and change that through there. And then finally, my subdomain, you will see the option to fill this out and confirm that with whatever subdomain you want. All KW agent sites are going to end with .kw.com. So you're just going to fill in this first part with whatever you want your subdomain to be, click claim subdomain, and it will tell you if it is accepted, which is usually just whether it's been claimed by someone else or not. But if you come back out here, you're going to see this My Website section. So if you click Manage Website, it's going to bring you to this page where you can do some limited edits. There's not a lot you can do on this specific page. But you can go in, you can view pages, you can add a couple pages that are template based. On the left-hand side, you can add a blog post if you need to. And then your design studio, you can edit your color schemes and your font choices through here as well. If we go to expert mode up at the top, it's going to bring us to our advanced editor for our website, where you can create custom pages, you can edit existing pages. So you can go in and add those pages up here at the top, or you can go view all of the pages that have already been created and edit them through there. Alrighty, so that actually is all we have for today. I see we have a bunch of questions in the chat. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this recording and get to those questions. If you'll have more questions, please go ahead and drop them in the chat and I can get those answered. If you are not sticking around for questions, thank you for joining me. Hope this was helpful for you, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day and a fantastic week ahead.